For that, by the way.
Yeah, more on that earthquake we felt about 8 to 10 minutes ago. It was a 4.1 magnitude. It was centered in Ashland, California, which is near San Leandro, Hayward, Castro Valley. Our chief meteorologist, Bill Martin, knows a lot about earthquakes. He's lived in this area a long time, so we want to bring him in. Yeah. Bill, is this along the Hayward Fault, do you think, being in that area over there?
It's, yeah, you know, Julie, anytime you're in that area, yeah, that's the Hayward Fault. You know, if you've ever been on the Warren Freeway, which runs right through there, through Castro Valley, on the way up to Berkeley, by Montclair, for instance, that is the Hayward Fault, and that's essentially where we're getting reports of this quake. It was a I have 4.2, but you guys reported 4.1. Those numbers are going to move around a little bit. It's a good sized quake, by the way. I mean, you will get 2 5s, 2 8s, you know, stuff. But when you start getting above 4, those are more significant and certainly more noticeable. We're not getting reports of any damage yet, but the depth on this earthquake, which has a lot to do with how much you feel them, how deep they are. This one was at about 5 miles or so, which is not shallow but not deep. So the shallower an earthquake, the closer to the crust it is, the top, the more to us. The more it vibrates, obviously. This was not an incredibly deep one, so I think that's why so many people felt it. The earthquake faults, you know, the San Andreas is that big one, but then if you look, you'll see the Hayward Fault, which runs right about here, right here. See, and so there's numerous faults. Obviously, this is the big one, San Andreas, but this Hayward one is the one we're always worried about because that one is expected to have a major shift, right? We haven't seen it. We're like 10 years late on the big quake that they're expecting from Hayward, but we are guessing right now that perhaps this was on the Hayward Fault. You have to understand there's lots of little faults, like the Calaveras Fault. There's all these offshoot faults as well. So these are just the big ones. So yeah, again, information slow to come in. What's funny about this, Jules, is I've never heard of Ashland. You know, when I saw it, I was going, well, that's Ashland, Oregon.
Yeah. We did too.
You know,
same.
What is that? Is it a district in Castro Valley area or something? I didn't.
It's right by it's right by a little community by the 238 580 split there.
Yeah, there is an Ashland, California. We had to look it up too, but it's right kind of in the middle of San Leandro, Castro Valley, and Hayward, kind of right there. And yeah, we thought Ashland,
how would I
Oregon,
not know that? I can't believe that.
We didn't either. So we looked
it up. I'm curious. Did you feel it, Bill? How was it there compared to? Where, you're not far from where we are.
Yeah, it was popping pretty good. I mean, you know, I was through the '89 quake in San Francisco, and I was in San Francisco on that one, which was a pretty sizable one, as you probably remember, bridge problems and the whole bit. And this was good. This popped pretty significantly. It rumbled for maybe 5-6 seconds, and a lot of people felt it. You know, as you call around, I'm getting a lot of calls, and I'm just fielding my texts right now. People coming in saying, "Yeah, we felt it," and they felt it not only here, but they felt it out in Half Moon Bay. They felt it down in San Jose. They felt it up in Marin County. So that's that's also a function of how shallow the quake was, or how it wasn't super deep.
Yeah, exactly. And I was talking to Julie earlier about the one in Napa. That was a 6.0. And I remember that thing jolted me out of bed, right? I mean, that popped me out of bed at 3 in the morning.
And caused quite a bit of damage.
This didn't pop me off my chair here in the studio, so you could tell the difference between that earthquake and what I guess is now a 4.0 is what, like you said, Bill, they're changing, you know, in the next couple hours.
But we definitely felt it. We have a lot of overhead, huge, big lights here in the studio, and they were just, nothing was swinging. But this desk, which is mighty and heavy, it was like actually the desk, we were reading a story, and the desk was kind of starting to bounce around a little bit and kind of roll. And Mike looks at me, and we said, "Okay, earthquake." We knew it, like, you know, that.
Well, you know what's interesting, Julie? When I was in the bigger one in '89 in San Francisco, it started like that. So that's whenever I feel one. I think we were all like that.
You never know where it's going to go.
I know. You wait to see if it's going to get bigger. You know.
Yeah, they'll go. They can go out like the one in Alaska in '64. That earthquake was like initially they had it at a 9. There was a tsunami and everything with that. But the quake lasted like 48 seconds. Ugh. So this lasted, imagine that. So a big quake, in San Francisco quake, I can't remember how long it was. I want to say it was like 15 or 20. But the bigger quakes will last longer. And so when they start, I think we all as Bay Area residents just go, oh gosh. Because they'll start small like that. They'll rumble and then they'll build, you know.
All right. Well, just to recap, a 4.1, you said the number can change. 4.0 now. Yep. Okay, in Ashland, which is around that Castro Valley, Hayward area, probably about, 12 minutes or so ago?
6:30, yeah, 6:29.
But no reports of any damage, just people around saying, oh, we felt it, we felt it. So, yeah, if we hear anything more, we will definitely let you know. Okay, moving on.